Alec, welcome to the wizarding world of Survivor. Okay, Survivor
Okay, the Wizarding World
Vanuatu.
of Jeff Ropes.
Previously, we
um,
watched the premiere of Survivor Vanuatu.
we did
How are you
indeed.
feeling?
It was all right.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was all right. It's not the greatest first episode I've
oh,
ever seen.
oh, okay,
Um,
okay. We're gonna stop the
we had
season
some.
then.
Okay.
We're gonna
So
skip
if it's
this one.
not gonna top Pearl Islands, then what we might as
All
well.
right, we're gonna skip this one,
All right,
and we're gonna get into the next season.
It's next season. All right.
If
No.
you're new though, have gone through every Survivor season chronologically. I'm a huge Survivor fan. Alec have been taken along for the first time. All right, in their reactions to every season since Thailand. Every episode we talk about it, and we have seasons for every reviews for every season. It's great. We love
Mm,
Survivor around here.
mm.
Every week there's a Survivor video to enjoy. All right. Previously, you did crown the first MVP, which is an idea I literally just came up with on the spot. I didn't even think about it beforehand, but it's like, what's the MVP of the episode? You said Eliza, because
I think there were probably two reasons would be my
nah,
guess.
come on. But the MVP is an award that can go for arbitrary reasons,
And
as I
there was probably
randomly decided.
she probably honestly she was the only one that stood out in the whole episode. Like
Really?
I'm not even saying that just because of
Well, you said if you were to award a strategic MVP, it would have been Chris or Lee,
yeah, because they looked like they're really trying to go for it.
because Chris was struggling. Well, previously on Survivor, Chris was struggling on that challenge,
He
and
blew
pretty
it.
much blew it for the tribe. But he was confident. He's like, I'm not going anywhere. We got a
Yeah.
plan in place, because Lee came to him and told him that the
Yeah.
young guys wanted him out, but Lee didn't want to do that.
Yeah, so the old guys are the old guys, the people that I always seem to love very much on these, even despite the fact that I'm not even 30 yet. Seem to be the ones that are trying to band together against the youngins.
So they voted out the young athletic Brooke.
Mm.
Never saw it coming. Because usually I feel like the young athletic guys almost assume coming into it, they're like, we don't have to worry about anything for the first few votes, because we're the young athletic guys. You need us for challenges. They're not going to vote us out.
The young athletic document manager.
Document man, he manages documents. We're not going to go into what kind of documents he managed, but he definitely did. Anything
so
else?
We've separated men and women.
Men and women, yeah.
And that's, I guess, specifically because that's how this culture kind of functions. So we seem to be going a little bit deeper into cultural stuff, which is, I felt, obviously was missing last season. It was all about strategy. I like this kind of cultural thing, but I don't want it to get in the way of the strategy, so we'll have to see how that plays out. All that being said,
It was very cultural, though. Yeah, in the
this
first
was
episode.
one of the most that I think we've ever had, for at least in our first episode. There's a whole welcoming ceremony where the men got to, do things, and the women all sort of had to sit and watch. And Jeff was like, "Yes, this is very interesting. There's an inequality in this culture, very, very apparent."
But we
So
love
like,
it.
That's going to be a theme, I think, going forward. So.
But they said you have to love it, though, because it's their culture. So.
But you have to love it.
And also.
I don't think that's quite what he meant.
Yeah.
I think he even said there's going to be things that you will probably not like and find offensive here.
Just gotta respect it.
But just you have to be, please be respectful. Yeah.
But then we did have that whole like a Mulan challenge where you had to climb the pole. And
yeah. Those.
But the first guy did
immediately.
it.
You just got it immediately. Yeah.
So they got a lucky. What was that? A lucky shell or something?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be give you a little bit of struggle there, but
yeah.
You just.
They gave them a spiritual advantage, I think he called it. So the guys got the spiritual advantage.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that comes into play here in a big way.
Will God come down and talk to them? I don't know. We'll have to see.
He's going to have a confessional at one point.
This is of a confessional with one of the people in the tribe.
Mm-hmm.
To be like, you must speak to our God, and you must do that through me. So
you will relay one message. Yeah, yes. You're allowed one message. All right. Anything else from the first episode? Chad has a prosthetic leg.
Which they didn't even notice, which I thought was kind of cool. There was one person I didn't get their name. I got like 17 people's names. There was one person whose name I didn't get. So I'm
Hmm.
on the lookout for that. We have Mia, Travis, Leanne, John P, Rory, Eliza, Lee, Amy, Lisa, Dolly, Brady, Chris, Twyla, Scout, Brooke, Chad, and Julie.
Hmm.
There's someone else that I'm missing.
I thought we went over this already. I didn't tell you who the other one was. I don't
No,
remember.
because no, because last time you were like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we just didn't hear anything from that other person.
Maybe.
Because
All right. So if you want to see the highlights of the reaction, you can click the link in the description, and then you can come back afterwards for the discussion. All right. It's gonna be great.
yeah.
Episode 2.
See you then.
Damn, Dolly.
Just want to pinch those cheeks.
Damn, Dolly. Calling yourself simple like that? Come on.
Don't
Give
call
yourself
yourself.
more
Don't
credit.
sell it.
You were
Yeah,
you were in the swing vote position. You just kind of screwed the pooch on it. It's all right.
Yeah, don't sell yourself short, Dolly. You're just the cute as a button.
You're the
Oh
doll.
my gosh.
You're a doll.
You're a
Alright.
doll to me, Dolly.
Salvador Dali. Okay,
Salvador
so
Dali, all right.
that was episode 2 of Survivor Vanuatu. How you feeling?
It sure was. Well, yeah, there's things that happened in that episode. Nothing like overly dramatic or exciting, but there's definitely some building tensions in the tribes. So it's cool to see some factions being, especially on the women's side. There's some factions building.
Isn't this always how it goes, though? Isn't it? It's always like it seems whenever you put men and women in their own tribes, it's immediately going to start dividing it on age. It's like
Yeah.
if we can't divide
Yeah.
on gender within our tribe, we're going to
Dividing
divide it on age.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to group with our similar people. You know, they always want to come together.
Well, that's always why the like the factions that sort of break the mold are always so interesting, right? Where you like the some of the factions in Pearl Islands or alliances in hell even in All Stars were kind of interesting.
Well, in the
'Cause they sort of
Amazon,
broke
we owe it to Rob Sister Nino for not just sticking with the guys all the way, like they were planning on, or just sticking with the young ones, like he was willing to
Yeah.
go with both sides and
Mm-hmm.
intermix different backgrounds. So it's always fun.
Yeah.
'Cause, you know, that's the fun of Survivors, the different backgrounds and coming together, different alliances. You don't always want to see the same people together, like in Africa, all the young people together.
Oh yeah, it was dull. It was dull as dirt. That's why it was very. It felt very producer like. All right, we got to shake things up
Gotta
here.
shake it up.
We just shake it up immediately.
All right,
It's just a nightmare.
so we got Dolly, who's voted out ultimately, but we did have
Looking cute as a button in that hat. My God, why didn't she wear that hat more? That's what I'd like to know.
Well, yeah, good question. Good
Yeah.
question for Dolly.
Good question, Dolly.
So Dolly found
Uh,
herself in the swing
at
vote
me,
role.
at me, Dolly, if you really want.
Dolly is like 65 now, sir.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
She was in the swing vote role, but the problem was that she wasn't willing to commit, which is commitment's a big thing, especially early on. It's like all you want is someone to just be like, "I'm with you."
yeah.
And she was like, that's the problem. Like when Christy in the Amazon knew she was in a swing vote role,
Yeah.
it was much later in the game, but she was like, "I'm
Yeah.
in the swing vote. I got all the power. So I'm not even gonna make a decision yet because I can just
Yeah.
decide what I want." And then they voted her out because she wouldn't make a decision.
Right.
You
It was
gotta-
just like you gotta have some authority. You gotta be authoritative. You gotta make decisions. Assertive. You gotta.
Because you try
Say
to
what
be
you're-
too
say what you're
cute,
doing.
try to be too cute
Yeah.
with it and be like, I'll wait to make my decision when I'm the swing vote, so I'll take
Yeah.
my time on this one. I'm not really
Yep.
sure yet. I like both sides.
Yeah. You can't
And
do
then
that.
they're like, no, let's just vote her out. Amy is literally sitting there next to Eliza and Leanne, who are the two options that people were throwing out there.
Mhm.
And she was just really blunt about it. She's like, yeah, you're the other option. It was you
Yeah.
two. It's
Yeah.
between. And this is how the power structure is going. It's these three that are running the show. And they're like, okay, let's just not do that then. All right.
So
Fair
so
enough.
it ended up being Eliza as actually the key vote there in the end.
Yeah, well,
Right.
it's everybody. It seemed like those three were on the outs. It's like
Yeah.
you had Dolly and her two henchmen, who apparently, because Julie said Dolly's running the show, I guess. But
Yeah.
she was really just controlling those two votes, and then everybody else was like, yeah, let's not just let them make the decisions. We can just come together here.
Yeah, for sure.
On the men's side of things, you had the Rory tension was kind of the biggest thing they brought up.
It was kind of, oh my gosh, he was getting on my nerves this time too. It was just like he was just like over complained about the women being happy that they
Celebrating,
won.
just celebrating, like
They're just celebrating, dancing. He's like, "That was classless," and it was like, it's like I don't know, were they shoving their boobs in your face or whatever? Like, what was classless about it? Like, I don't understand what's going on. Like, what the hell are you talking about? And he was apparently doing it for a while because Sarge was like, he's doing it for like he said like hours. Obviously, that sounded like an exaggeration, but like I felt like it was. I mean, maybe he was. I don't know, but it was all like way overkill. It's like, all right, dude, chill out.
Gotta take it easy, Rory. People have been voted out for less.
Yeah, yeah. People have been voted out. People have literally been voted out for less. Like Pastor John because he made a stupid joke or whatever.
They didn't like that. They didn't like that they joked about the water.
Joked about the water, yeah.
We did have the first interaction we had was between, I think it was John K. and Bubba, that where he had that killer face on.
Yeah, John K. That was legitimately like horror films stuff. It was like closing in on his face. It was amazing.
Like
it was.
Like, yeah, maybe they banded together because they were older people, but also you're kind of giving off psychopath vibes, John. So
yeah, John. I mean, I'm not gonna mince words. You kind of were giving off vibes that you were gonna just start strangling him as soon as he gave you the wrong answer. Okay, so I just chill out.
Maybe try to adapt how you're responding to the situation a little bit.
It was amazing.
You don't have to go get kids. Like, there are some improvements you can make other than your whole life choices.
I just love that. So it was my kids. If I had kids, it was like, well, no. It was more just like, I don't know, you're a strong young guy. He's like, oh, okay, well, like it legitimately.
So am I a threat to you or a threat to the tribe? I mean,
and yeah, well, the way it was framed too, it legitimately felt like in a horror movie. That's like the time where the villain would just start strangling his victim, you know?
Yeah. And they did a lot of things with the music and like little stings and sound effects throughout this episode. A lot. They did a lot of the chilling, like dong dong ding dong.
There was also like sting at the with the commercial break. It was really funny. And then the friggin' tango music with when they were doing the
rubbing up on each other challenge. What do you think of that challenge? By the way,
shimmy and slide is what I named the mini game. That was fun. I mean, it was kind of weird, but like it was weird. It was all exercising balance.
Actually, a challenge inspired by Richard Hatch, so glad to see it.
Oh no.
They were like, oh, we love that interaction right there.
Yeah,
let's make a challenge out of that.
That's like a challenge where if one of our guys strips naked, he will legitimately rub his junk up against another man.
They probably, before they did that challenge, were like, do not remove any article of clothing.
Yeah.
God, please.
Yeah, you feel like the camera people were like ushering them information, like, please do not.
Not even a little bit.
Don't even take your shoes off.
If a piece accidentally comes off, we will cut and let you put it back on.
Yeah.
And we will resume. Like, Jesus. But we really love this challenge idea. We got to do this. I think it's a fun challenge, but...
Yeah, and then we had what I called Puzzle See This, which was basically...
like the blindfolded challenge.
Yeah, it was a blindfolded challenge where they had to collect puzzle pieces out on the beach and in the sea, where they had to assemble them all back together. And it was your bog standard puzzle thing. I think it was cool having the tiers of puzzles. That was kind of a neat little wrinkle to it.
Even though I don't think it really amounted to much, it seems like once you had the first one done, it just kind of... It wasn't like you were spending a lot of time on each one.
It didn't look like the puzzles were very complicated, yeah.
Yeah. But Sarge was in his element here.
Sarge was just like going great, and then Rory was what was he? He was yelling the tribe name. Low Pevy. He was just like, stop it! You're messing me up! I was like,
like, why would you, if you're standing there, just start making sounds? That's like the last thing you want to do. And
it is in a challenge where the one guy is supposed to be communicating to everyone else. Probably the last thing you'd want to do is interrupting him, being really loud right in front of him when he's trying to direct everyone.
But Sarge has been interesting. Like, You know, he's the tough drill sergeant, but he's also he was the voice of reason. Well, in the first episode, he was the one who went to Chris. He's like, I'm not just
Yep.
gonna vote you out. And then he was the voice of reason here with Rory, where he's like, what's the problem? They were celebrating. They won.
Yeah, it's just like, dude, chill out. Like it was. Yeah, and then he's also the one that was like, oh yeah, say my name, say our name, or whatever. Say my. It was like, it was. Yeah, he was cheering that when they won.
Say my name, and they're like, what do we say? Should we say Lee or Sarge? Because you have two different names. There.
Yeah. Or do we say Lepevi? You know, like what are we supposed to be saying right now? You know, yeah, that was it. It was a fun episode.
Oh, and you had Twyla stab at a chicken.
Yeah, what the hell was that? It was like
the chicken had laid eggs, but then she was like, and then it freaking freaked out. So it must
freaked out. Hit the cameraman.
It's in the worst of pain out there now.
And then they're like, "Oh boy, we got the eggs!" So they start boiling the eggs, and then
tips over. I wonder what.
I was so embarrassed. I was like fifth-hand embarrassed about that. It was terrible. Ladies looking good in bikinis.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys,
like that.
Who are you liking from the women's tribe?
Yeah.
Everybody before the season's always coming up to me like, "How are the women?" Jeff, can I get a look at the women?
It was interesting on a recent episode of Otaku Brothers. Rusty was mentioning how he told Brian to skip Amazon because he was like, on rewatch it was pretty sexist, and I was like, I guess it kind of was, but that was still a great season.
Rusty's watching this right now. You know that.
Yeah, so... you know that. Don't tell Ryan to skip that season. You'll miss Rob Sesternino, who's like one of my favorite players who ever played the game.
Rusty watched Survivor like a psychopath, though. He told me he kept...
He's legit. Him and Lauren have... No, I think Lauren watched it even more like a psychopath.
Watched like all
Lauren's watching this,
he watched it like a psychopath, meaning he went from like this season, skip 20 seasons, go back 5.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like...
I thought you meant just like marathon it like a psychopath, which I think Lauren has done, and like, girl, chill. It's okay. You don't have to binge it that hard.
Almost all the seasons, I think, at this point, minus like a couple.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, I always like. It's ideal to watch them in order if you can, especially like when they mention in All Stars. It's nice to have the context of all the seasons going into it.
Yeah.
Let's give out an MVP award. Who's your MVP for the episode?
I think I'm gonna give it to Sarge. I think he was just a great personality in this episode. I mean, I want to give it to Dolly. Like, bless her. I mean,
Dolly will never win an MVP.
She's not going to win an MVP. I mean, like, she's runner up because, man, girls in hats, so cute.
Girls in hats. That's
an
Instagram account, probably.
Is it? It's probably a subreddit.
Yeah, subreddit.
Like, definitely, girls in hats. I mean, just so cute. But yeah, no, Sarge was just great. I mean, he held the team together. He was the voice of reason, like we said. Solid skills of communicating during the challenge. Overall, it was his episode, I'd say. Sure.
It was good stuff. I enjoyed that episode. There's some good.
Yeah.
It's like we already got little hints of strategizing in there, not too much, but we're starting to get to know some of these people a little more.
Yeah. Like in Bubba, I like Bubba. I like Sarge. Big fan of Eliza for a few different reasons, and she's just clearly a very important player on the other team.
It'll be interesting to look back on the season, see how all the MVP awards shape out.
Yeah,
we got one for Eliza on the shelf. We got one for Sarge up there.
Eliza basically just for existing.
Look,
in the first
you can win
episode.
an MVP for anything.
Yeah, it's just easy. Yeah.
If you look back at our whole long history of MVP awards, it's pretty inconsistent. The 2 episodes. All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna compile a large document eventually. We'll have like, here are the 100 MVP award winners across the last 3 seasons here. Once we got there, a lot of awards. See, because we have once we get to the merge, we'll have the power rankings, and that'll be more on a strictly game sense. And this one is just kind of, you can be a little wild with it. Whoever you want to give an MVP to.
MVP.
All right.
MVP.
That's it. What video would you recommend our viewers go watch?
Go watch our very first reaction to Survivor: The Amazon. Go check it out.
The other man versus woman season.
It is. It was a season that I liked. We obviously I was just razzing Rusty a little bit for that. Our good friends. But no, it's that's still one of my favorite seasons. I love Amazon. I thought it was a lot of fun. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so come back next week. We'll have more Survivor Vanuatu, baby. I mean,
yeah.
And if you're new, there's plenty of other Survivor stuff to watch on this channel.
A lot of Survivor. If you as passionate about it as I have now been becoming, as passionate as Zach is, then there's a lot of content to digest. So
and we are never stopping ever. 40 seasons. We're
gonna keep going till we're sick of it. And I don't have any. We've been doing this for like 2 years now, and I'm not sick of it yet. So
yeah. It has been 2 years now, over 2 years.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's been fun, for sure.
All right, so subscribe to the channel, subscribe to our podcast feed, like the video, leave a comment, hit the notification bell, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook at Tarqaron TWO. All right.